at that number.
Yes, so make sure, you guys, this is a way you guys want to know how you can support Brother Bobby and the work that he's doing. I will tell you guys, I have the picture packet, and no lie, the day that I got the picture, I had the African Venus that I really, really wanted. Brother Bobby sent that picture to me, and immediately she started really talking to me. I could really communicate, feel the energy off of it. The pictures are off the hook. Definitely my purple disc, I don't take it off. I have the stimulus check. That sure is, all of that is very powerful tools. 678-358-1055 as we continue with Brother Bobby live in the remix. And I'm your host, of course, Miss Bliss. All right, Brother Bobby, we're going to turn it back over to you.
Okay, now I'm reporting a master Italian brother. You know, them Italians, them ain't nothing but spaghetti niggas. There's an Italian brother that died. His name was William Arbello. I think he died sometime in the last September or something. He was a master of the occult. He's been doing stuff since the 1960s. William Arbello made the transition, but what happened was he had a documentary, or he had a series out, a tape out, or a DVD out called Get Rich Quick Spells. And this guy's a master, which means he will show you how to do things in getting household products out of your kitchen to bring in money and finances. So that particular brother, once he made the transition, he came to me about 2 weeks ago and said, you know, we need to get that particular information out as far as the Get Rich Quick information, and that particular monumental DVD on Get Rich Quick. Unbelievable information on how to use just basic things around your house and different things you can do to bring in loads of cash. So the Get Rich Quick aspect is William Arbello. So please inquire when you make your phone calls about that information and that particular DVD also. Yes. Now, I remember I told you about, first of all, I want to say this. I talked about this before the Christmas break, about we was waiting on this woman's book, The Immortal Cells of Henrietta Lacks.
Yes.
This book, it ended up coming out as The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks by Rebecca Skloot. That's S-K-L-O-O-T. Yes, Rebecca Skloot. And it's called The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks. And Henrietta Lacks is a person that they took her cells from her and used those cells for every form of research. They grow the cells in the lab, Johns Hopkins.
Yeah.
And it says the doctors took her cells without asking. These cells never died. And they launched a medical revolution and a multi-million-dollar industry. More than 20 years later, their children found out, and their lives have never been the same. So let me give you an update on that. Is the woman, Rebecca Skloot, or whatever that is, Skloot, this woman, she said that when she was in college and she heard mention of them taking this black woman's cells and growing them in a lab and also using them for all of this particular research, and she said she never forgot it. And as a result, years later, she's written this particular book, The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks, and it's a #1 bestseller on the New York Times. Now, and it was years later that the children found out. Now, one of the keys is this. What was the outcome of this? The children found out later, and now they have this particular, they put in something years after they took her cells that you can't sue the hospital or you can't get any money for the doggone research. So they did that to cover their behinds. And so, as a result, so the lady came to speak about 2 weeks ago here in Atlanta. So the sister Kimberly said, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to raise the question, because she came to speak at Emory, well, why don't you use some of the proceeds to the book, because the book is #1 bestseller, New York Times, to help the family. To help the family, since the hospital had this thing that said that they can't sue or they can't get any money. So she ended up not going to the actual lecture. I don't know what happened. But one of her colleagues did go. And the colleague reported back to her and said when the girl came, the girl said that she set up a fund for those particular children to start getting money. And she said the proceeds started coming in like crazy. So that is a good ending of a story that the woman, not only did she write this book, but she also set up a fund so those particular people could get that particular information. And so I just wanted to add that into a follow-up because we didn't know the whole thing based on her offspring and what was actually going on.
Yes. We'll keep going. I got a 10 on her, but yes, very powerful story. We're going to keep going, Brother Bobby.
And the good part about it, the book was such a number one bestseller till now they've already put it on audio. You see what I'm saying?
Wow.
Put it on audio, which is good. So you can go to Barnes & Nobles or wherever, and you can order the actual audio. That's the good part about it becoming a bestseller. You can just get the audio and, and look at it that particular way. Now, remember I was talking about the god Kalki.
Right.
And Kalki is the last avatar of Vishnu. Now, you want to get his information, you want to go onto the internet, you want to type in the prophecies of the Vishnu Purana. The Vishnu Purana is where we get this information of Kalki about. Are we still on?
Yes,
hello?
we are. We are still.
Okay, yeah. The Vishnu Purana. Now, they give all these prophecies and basically every prophecy that they're giving when Kalki is to come back. And these are force fields. These are streams of energies that can be accessed in all of us. When we feel certain things strange, you see what I'm saying? Instead of some man coming back or some whatever, there's a current, a frequency comes back for those particular people who are aware. So I try to understand how these energies work. So one of the things when the Kalki energy comes back is basically everything that's going on now, all the corrupt and the banks and everything that's going on in the world, nature being messed up, is in the Vishnu Puranas of what would happen. So they got the actual prophecies of how the world would be like when this particular last avatar of Vishnu. Vishnu being the Christ energy being a form of the pineal gland and the Kundalini energy. Know this. And a current, when the last installment or the last ray or current of the Vishnu's energy comes back, basically the Vishnu Purana is explaining the same stuff you see in the news every day. Basically, that's what the Vishnu's Purana is explaining. But you can go on the internet and download that. There's one part of the Vishnu Purana that I came face-to-face with on the 19th of February. 19th of February, I came face-to-face with this Vishnu Purana. One part, one of the greatest prophecies. Now, in the Vishnu Purana, they say this. They say that in the last days, man will eat the sacred cow. The sacred cow. Now, that might not seem anything to you now because the beef industry runs this country. You understand what I'm saying? But just follow me for a minute here. Say, man will eat the sacred cow. Now, let's say you was in ancient Egypt or ancient India, because in India, they don't eat the cow to this day. Even when McDonald's opened up, they had to sell turkey burgers or lamb burgers. Now, if you were in Hemmitt in the ancient world, and in some parts of the ancient world that later on started eating the cow, if you was in the ancient world, when these particular prophecies that was written, you see, even when they came down even orally, you would think that would be something ridiculous. It would be no different than, say, man will eat the sacred babies. You see, right now, if we say they got a group of people that live in a civilization and they eat babies, you would say, oh, this is horrible. Well, apply the same thing to a cow if you was in the ancient world. Are you getting where I'm coming from here?
Yes,
so when they're saying this particular prophecy, they're not saying this particular prophecy, oh, well, they're just looking and they say they're eating cows. No, they're saying it is a same equivalent of saying man is eating a baby. So, on the 19th, what happened is on the 18th, Spirit told me there was a statue of Erzuli. It was an Erzuli type looking statue, but it was a fountain. And they said, well, you need to go get that fountain.